Thank you, Chairman, sir. I rise to speak on the Bills of Lading Bill 2024. I don't know why it has not been corrected to 2025. Now, I have a basic objection to the bill. When it was introduced in the House, the Minister will remember, I objected to the introduction of the bill because I said it was superfluous. It was not necessary. And it is stated in the statement of object and reasons, though the substantive aspects of the said Act continue to remain relevant, being a pre-independence statute, it is imperative that the provisions of the said Act required to be revisited without changing the substance or spirit of the Act, so as to bring it in line with modern legislation. The Minister has said that this is the same as the previous legislation. This is superfluous. I think the Ministry has no work. Should they bring legislations unnecessarily? Before I speak on the bill, I have a small request to the Minister. He is from Dibrugarh, on the banks of the Brahmaputra, mighty river. He is also from the land of Lahe Lahe, which is slow pace. Now my request is this, that give your Minister of State, Shantanu Thakur, some chance to speak in Parliament. He is sitting every day, taking notes, but he is not getting chance to speak. He is from Bengal and he deserves a chance in your ministry. So now we have to consider the shipping bill. We have to consider shipping industry. Shipping industry has undergone terrific changes in the last 50 years. Now there are no more small ships. Ships are all container ships, and they are 2 lakh, 3 lakh tons. The bigger ships are oil tankers, which bring petroleum from one country to the others. Unfortunately, though, we have a big coastline, more than China, 34,000 miles of coastline. But our coast is not indented. That is, there are not enough inlets, as a result of which we do not have big container ships coming to our ports. Sir, you are from Chennai. You know that Madras port, you have to have a breakwater for maintaining the port. We need deep water ports. We have built a new, Cochin is a big deep water, so is Vizag. Earlier the government built new ports, where in Bombay they built the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. Paradip was built by the government. Now all new ports are going to one group of businessmen called Adani. New port in Vizinjam, Kerala, that belongs to Adani. The new port in Dhamra, in Odisha, belongs to Adani. And the biggest port in private sector is Mundra port. Mundra port has the report of maximum drug seizure in the port. That also belongs to Adani. So we have a change in the total perspective of the shipping industry, which I want to point out. Now, why is the minister bothering about these small changes in bill then? I spoke during the introduction. I said it's not necessary. And see, one bad point is that they are making legislation and taking all the power in the government's hand. They have said government has repealed the Indian Bill of Lading Act 1856 without introducing any significant improvements in maritime trade except for centralizing power under the Ministry of Port and Shipping. You read with me the bill, sir. The bill says, sir, the bill says the central government may give such directions as it may deem necessary for carrying out all or any of the provisions of this Act. That means central government has overriding power. It's not democratic. The state should have been given some power in the matter of ports. The shipping industry could have some power. There could have been a National Shipping Council. That has not been done. We must see how to develop our ports. We must build big, deep water seaports. We must have big container ships. Otherwise, we can't compete with China. People here speak of competing with China. We are not even 5 trillion. China is 19 trillion, their GDP. And USA is 32 trillion. Where are we? How do we catch up with China? China has a smaller coastline than us, but they're huge. The Shanghai port, the huge capacity. We must remember that we must hasten to catch up with these countries. Government having more power over the ports is not important. We must encourage the shipping industry. We must encourage the shipbuilding industry. We must encourage the shipbreaking industry. Unfortunately, we are falling behind in all these things. Minister is a good man, but he needs dynamism and a 10-year-old and a 50-year-old perspective as to how to develop the shipping industry, which has fallen behind. Small countries, see the Dutch, they have Rotterdam port. It's equivalent to 4 or 5 ports of ours. Small countries have big ports. We haven't built big ports. I will request the minister to take up the matter of big ports. I have nothing to say against the bill, but I'll tell you that let the minister come to Parliament with more positive legislation, not this minor tinkering legislation.
Thank you.
This tinkering legislation can be done in Atal Tinkering Laboratory. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.